Ryan, what can you tell us about what happened?
Well, some tough details that you just confirmed with that mayor, the fact that one person has died in this shooting. And in fact, when we had that reporter on earlier from the local affiliate there, it talked about maybe the rabbi having his fingers blown off during the shooting. You know, 3 other people have been shot. We've been told they did suffer non-life-threatening gunshots so far. But when you think about this, on the last day of Passover, having someone come into a synagogue and open fire, you know this happened around 11:30 this morning. Police acting very quickly to get to the scene. That last person that we had talking before, a witness who talked about hearing 5 or 6 shots and then the screaming that was going on afterwards. Apparently there were several people who were inside the synagogue who tried to confront the shooter. And then a short time later, the sheriff's department was able to corral that person and take them into custody. They are investigating this as a hate crime. But then on top of that, in a extreme caution, the San Diego Police Department is making sure extra patrols are set up around all places of worship. So we have at this point 22 miles outside the city of San Diego. You have this shooting that happened around 11:30. We do know one person has been shot and killed, 3 others who have been injured, who have been shot, but non-life-threatening injuries. And when you hear the information from the witnesses on the scene, you can understand how terrified they are. But at this point, we're still learning information.
Josh, we just spoke with the mayor of Poway, who said that they believe this is a hate crime because of words they heard from this suspect, who is now presumably in custody, the man that they say they've been taken in for questioning. What can you tell us about how they may be going about this? And in fact, if they have this as a hate crime, now what does that mean?
Well, first on, let me say that was good that you pressed him on that, because it's one thing for an elected official to describe an incident. It's something very different from a prosecutor or a law enforcement officer to describe it. And it sounds as though after you pressed him, what we learned is that he's basing his assessment on what witnesses heard during the act, which is going to be a key piece of evidence for the investigation. Again, if the subject didn't admit himself to law enforcement officers what he did, if he's not proud of what he's doing, if he's not cooperating, then that witness testimony becomes very key. And then that obviously becomes a large part of this investigation. What was motivating him? And if it was hatred, then this is an entirely different case. One thing that will be interesting for us to note as we learn from law enforcement officers at their press conference is what were the circumstances surrounding his arrest. We know that it took place, at least according to witness testimony, outside the facility. Whenever they arrived, did he surrender? Was there some type of exchange between the subject and law enforcement officers? That we don't yet know.